All right, it's episode 60 of the AMG podcast. We made it to 60, 6-0, and it's a mid-December edition. We're approaching the festive season. We're almost there, but not quite yet. But we can hear the sounds of the Christmas music that I don't want to hear. Pick something else, but nonetheless, we are here approaching that time of the year. So first, Collector the Scallops, Collector of the People. Steve, how are you?
Good. A little sad that the Taylor Swift Eras tour ended this past weekend. So when I came in Monday, looks like Brad had replaced my Taylor Swift backdrop with this guy.
I'm pretty sure that's Alec Manoa.
Yeah,
which is appropriate. I feel like Brad should have had that in his place.
He said you would understand.
Yeah, that I'm pretty sure that's Alec Manoa back there. If it is, it's like, look, point for Brad. I'll give him that one. That's well played. He leaned into that one. I appreciate it. Blair, how are you?
Fantastic.
That is fantastic. That image of Alex Manoa is in the background.
Sir.
So I think
that's a beauty.
I appreciate it on levels. Mwah, chef's kiss. Well done. So a couple of things we can get through. This one is the one where we'll talk about artifacts. We'll talk about a couple of items that came in the shop. So let me just get this going here. I'll do one comment from the previous, and then I want to make sure we get a couple of announcements from you guys because we are pushing the holidays. So there's holiday hours, some days that we want to make sure we take into account. And then we'll also quickly mention the trade night and card show, which again, as far as I'm aware from the correspondence has been out there, I believe there will still be one for December, but the dates will be adjusted. It will not be exactly the end of the month because again, holidays, you got to remember that part, but we'll touch on it. So comment from last episode from Gotham's, great video, missed the sale, but encourage others to visit. They were very impressed with the store. Keep up the great work. Thank you as always. Appreciate that. So Blair, do you want to give us the holiday dates? Make sure we have the right dates so that we've got those covered. And then we'll talk about the trade night and card show really briefly, and then we'll get into the rest of the stuff.
Actually, I might have to defer to Steve on that. I didn't get the dates.
Well, Christmas is off. Boxing Day's off. So just let me help everybody out. So Christmas, this was the layup here for you. Christmas is off. It's in the middle of the week. Boxing Day is also off. It's in the middle of the week.
Nice.
And also New Year's is off. So those are all off. Everybody, if you go to the mall, do not expect it to be open because holidays. So since it's the middle of the week, it kind of creates a weird dynamic with the week, but those are definitely off days. Please don't come to the store expecting to see somebody. Except Blair, maybe. He'll hang out outside signing autographs.
Yes.
Yeah, he might be outside signing autographs. We're telling you about Taylor Swift. That's about all you can expect, but don't expect the store to be open. Those are the holidays.
Awesome.
Use your common sense in the calendar.
Yeah, and we'll make sure we have the actual calendar dates posted as the time approaches.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. And we'll remind you. We just want to make note of it now, just a couple of episodes ahead of time. But again, we'll remind you again in the following subsequent episodes so that everybody's on the same page. So we'll get into that. One other thing is that I believe the trade night, is the 21st. I got to double check the dates on the exact calendar, but I think 21st is one.
No.
The 20th is the trade night, and the 21st is
the yes. Okay, so reverse that. Yeah, so 20th trade night, and then 21st should be the card show. Right. And as far as I'm aware, that's still on. We'll get 100% confirmation on the next episode, but I'm like 95% sure that that's still because it's the week before the holidays. So it does adjust it to take into account Christmas and New Year's. So just bear that in mind. There will be some adjustments to the dates. Stay tuned to the social medias so that you've got everything. There'll be reminders and all that will be sent out to folks so that you make sure that you know what the dates are. Okay, so real quick, I've got a whole list of different products here. We're going to focus on Artifacts Hockey, but real quick, do you want to, I don't know, Blair or Steve, do you want to quickly, there's a lot of Pokemon stuff on here. Do you want to quickly run through what we got?
Yeah, I can do that. Yep. So the guy, Sherry and Steve, were able to secure some, I guess we call them restocks. We haven't had them in quite some time. The big one is Battle Styles booster boxes. So have not had those in quite some time. A couple of big chase cards in that, but one is the Tyranitar V. So that's a big card to chase in those. So that's booster boxes. So we'll be selling them booster boxes and packs. Silver Tempest, just in blister packs. We've got some Fusion Strike, same kind of thing, blister packs, and Brilliant Stars blister packs. That's the highlights of what we have. So just some products that we haven't had in quite some time. So it'll be fun to put those on the shelf.
Yeah,
there you go.
And also, too, just pointing out, and again, not a Pokemon guy, but a lot of this product's just extremely dried up. So Sherry and I did put in some effort searching the World Wide Web, trying to find some, something to fill the shelves with. So, we did what we had to do to pick it up. So, a pack might be $1 more than they're used to paying, or a booster box $10 more than you're used to paying. It just, unfortunately, it is what it is. The other option was to have nothing. So, it's not overly priced, but if you have to pay $1 or two more for a product, it's not us jacking the price up. It's just what we had to do to get it. So I don't think there'll be any complaints, but yeah, just be prepared to spend a small percentage more than you normally would on these, because I think Battle Styles, it's probably been a year or two since we even had booster boxes from that product. So when they became available, we jumped on them.
There you go. Good stuff. And then from the rest of the list here, again, if you're curious about availability and pricing and all that, be sure to reach out to the store. We always include the contact points in the description, but we'll also do a little scrolling ticker across the bottom there with the Instagram and the website. Utilize those contact points. That's the best way to find out if you're curious about availability and or pricing, because that's the best place to get it, and that's where you're going to get that information. So a couple of other ones that I'll mention here as well is MLS Chrome Soccer to 2024 Topps. MLS Chrome Soccer is there. And then also on this list is 2024 Upper Deck Marvel Masterpieces 92 Platinum. Again, availability and pricing, reach out directly to the store. And as I already mentioned, Artifacts, that's going to be 24-25. So that is the year after Bedard. We already had the Bedard one released. So this one is the 24-25 Artifacts Hockey. And we'll do a preview on that here in a moment. So real quick, before we do, a couple of items that came in the store. I don't have them set in any specific order, so I'll go through them here and we'll showcase a couple of these. But there are a couple of fun items, and it's not just cards this time around. We've got a couple of different things that we can share. So first one actually here is an autographed football of Tom Brady with the inscription 3 times Super Bowl MVP. So we've got that on there. And a full signature. There was a little bit of a controversy with Mr. Brady and the signing a little while back. That's kind of fun. That's why I'm giving this one for my good friend Eric, so he can appreciate a full, lovely Tom Brady autograph on this football.
Yep. And it's nice to see he put a little bit of effort into this one. But yeah, this is actually a consignment piece. A good friend and customer asked if we could try to move it for him. So if any questions on this, definitely reach out to the store. He's like everyone else. His collecting taste changed, or he's downsizing, and he still loves Tom Brady, but he's changed his collecting taste, and is going after the autographed cards and stuff like that. Takes up a little less space, but this is definitely a centerpiece for a collector's mantle. So I believe it's signed Steiner Sports, so definitely an authentic Tom Brady football, and the fact that it has an inscription obviously adds a little bit more value to it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And then we do have a Pokemon card here. So we got the shiny Gyarados. We got it in the Mint 9 Holo First Edition. Neo Revelation is what it says on the label there. Again, don't know the Pokemon too much, but I defer to the expert over there, Blair.
It's a big card. And this was one a couple had come in. I think they had come in previously with this card and another one. We were able to purchase the other one for the store, and it's in our showcase. This one they came in and just were wondering, if we had thought about this card, maybe buying it for the store, but it's a pretty big card, expensive card, and one of those ones. It's sometimes, like Steve says, when these cards come in, do you want to, not that we couldn't buy it, but do we want to buy it? Is there a market here for it? And we did actually, we know a couple of people who are Pokemon collectors, or know people who are big Pokemon collectors. So for this one, we ran it by them to see if we could reach out to friend of the store, and we did that, and we're able to help them move the card. So we didn't take this one in store, but we helped them find it a home, and they were happy to get the sale. And it was one of those cool stories. We were able to help them and put it in the right hands of a collector.
There you go. You're able to facilitate.
Yeah.
One thing that kind of noted, and again, I do like it is fun just for folks if you do enjoy your collecting side of it, whether you collect the stuff or not. Read what it says on some of these things because you can have a little bit of fun. Because just as Blair was explaining that, I was looking at it, and again, there's a lot of text on it. It is a game card,
Yeah.
but one thing that I kind of noticed here, you've got the length, you've got weight, but then you've got atrocious Pokemon. That seems harsh. That seems a little harsh, but okay, fair enough. Didn't realize Nintendo was quite that mean.
Yeah.
It's
Good to know.
518 pounds as well.
Yeah, it's 518 pounds. That's right.
Um,
21 feet 4 inches length.
yeah.
Good to know.
Scary. This is
Yeah,
actually
that's
surprisingly just another note. You don't kind of do a deep dive on all the cards you see, but just check the population count on this card, and I was surprised actually to not too many higher, obviously in tens, but quite a few of these cards in a 9. So I was surprised at that, given the age. Not super old, but from 2001. So it was interesting, but yeah.
That's what happens. It's an atrocious Pokemon. What are you going to do?
Atrocious
Again,
Pokemon.
harsh.
I like it.
Very harsh.
Maybe
Very
that should be
harsh.
the next set.
I guess
Atrocious
so,
Pokemon.
maybe. I just didn't realize that was a thing, Steve. I didn't know. Who knew? So anyway, moving on here. 1953 Topps Whitey Ford. I love the set. Big fan of this one. And this is a 2, but actually a very clean copy. I'm very impressed. The visual appeal on this one is excellent. You can see on the bottom there's a little bit of wear on the bottom there, but the image is very clean, and that's always the thing you like with these ones.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I think in last week's podcast when Brad was on, we kind of touched on, sometimes people get caught up in the numerical grade of a card as opposed to just enjoying the card. Yes, this is a 2. It'd be nice if it was an 8, but as a 2, it looks great in the holder, and overall, it's just beautiful and clean, and the colors are vibrant. So again, different types of collectors, but don't be afraid to, obviously everyone can only afford so much, but if you can't afford an 8 or a 9, you can still find really nice lower grade cards. And it might be tougher to find those because there's weak 2s, strong 2s. So the search might be a little tougher to find a nice clean 1 or 2. So, but yeah, and this is an affordable card, maybe a couple $100.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks great in the showcase.
Absolutely. And I would say, like, if you are entering the vintage realm, something like this provides a good value because you're getting the aesthetic, you're getting the good look with it. It keeps the price at a more reasonable level. It allows you to build a really nice collection or put together a set. If you can find cards like this in 2s, I have a bunch of 53 Topps, and I never hesitate to grab a nice copy, especially a Hall of Famer. If you can get one that looks that clean in that kind of condition, you're good.
Yeah.
It'll make much more reasonable for you. Here is a 1970 O-Pee-Chee checklist. Big time, since the checklists oftentimes were used. So this is a clean copy. So this was an 8, so very crisp copy. And it has not been checked. It has been left alone.
Yeah, and this of the post-war checklist is considered probably to be the toughest. I know the 71 O-Pee-Chee 111 checklist, but this one, I believe there's only like a pop 37 as an 8.
Yeah.
It's really, really hard. And this one had a lot of centering issues and miscut issues. So when this came in the store last week, I was super excited to get it. And it's interesting to watch different people's reaction, because if you're not a vintage collector and you see a checklist, a lot of people that are more into modern are kind of like, whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
It's just a bunch of check marks on a card, but it's a really beautiful card in my opinion. And again, doing this a long time, I might have had 1 or 2 of these, in this kind of condition. So, love having that available in the store.
Yeah. For the vintage guys, the key with the checklist, kind of alluding to what Steve is talking about, is that these were thrown out. These are, kind of cast off. A lot of people, or they were checked off. They were used. It was a checklist. It served a purpose, but it's still part of the set. It's card number 24. So if you're going to do a complete set, this is part of it. And these tend to be the checklist cards tend to be the ones that oftentimes are the tough ones. It's not always, especially in hockey and a lot of these ones, they include it as part of the checklist. I know the 56 Tops Baseball, the checklists are actually separate cards. They're not
Mhm.
included as part of the main set checklist, which doesn't mean they're cheap because they're still very difficult to find if you can find them unchecked for the reasons I just outlined. But the fact that's part of the set means if you want to do the set, you actually need this card, and that's critical to it.
And the hockey checklists definitely carry more value than the other sports. I know like baseball has a couple checklists that are valuable, as does football, but for the most part, like you get into the 60s and early 70s, a baseball checklist is, $8 to $15, where the hockey ones from, the late 60s are hundreds up to $1,000. So definitely more weight is put on the hockey checklist for the most part.
Mhm.
And I did not know that actually. I'm a hockey checklist guy. Actually, it was some of the greatest advice I got when I started making the Toronto Expo shows. I was like, there's so much I want to. I was a set builder, so it's daunting. And what do I do? And I said, guys, where should I? I got rookies and stuff. Okay, I get that. Somebody did say one time, and it was great advice. He said, unmarked checklists, and I was like, oh yeah, you're right, because they're supposed to be marked. So that was one of my hunts up in Toronto when I was doing the show. So I actually did acquire all the checklists, and some I have multiples of, but just because I like the set or whatever, or if I could find them. But yeah, I got excited one day here. I was going through some baseball and came across some singles, and I was like, oh, the checklist. So I went to Steve. I said, look, I found checklists, and he quite promptly shot me down a little bit. Said, yeah, they're not hockey, and I was like, oh, so yeah, every day learning.
Just shooting you down.
Shot
Just
me
shooting
down.
you down.
I got excited.
Shot you down.
Yeah.
Yep. Now there are to be fair though, there are a couple of baseball series where the checklist
Yep.
definitely
Yeah.
it holds up.
Yes.
Again, depends on the series. Your mileage may vary. It just depends on the years and brands and critical things.
Yeah.
Got to do a little research. Go into it in a little bit of depth, and you'll find where those hidden gems are because there's some good ones in there. So we've been all over the map on this one, so it's a pretty good mix of things this time around. We had Pokemon, we had a football, we've had some vintage, and now we're into Kale McCarr here. This is Synergy, numbered to 25. It looks like it's an on-card autograph. No, that's a sticker auto. I can see the sticker
I
now.
believe, I don't have it in front of me. I actually believe it is on card. I'm not 100% certain, but
Yeah.
I believe it is.
So I'm just looking at it here. I see the lines. So can you see that?
Oh,
Yeah,
actually,
I'll have to. Oh, yeah, it
Yeah.
is. Okay.
Yeah.
You win.
Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think I do.
I
On
was
the
taking a
bottom.
closer look at it. I just saw the little circle box. I will say it hides it pretty well. They did a
Oh,
good
yeah.
job actually positioning this one, but it is a sticker. I want to make sure we represent that accurately. But it is a nice one numbered to 25, and it's definitely going to have a lot of shine to it based on the way that the foil is reflecting on this one. So pretty nice looking card. And then we'll shoot back over to vintage here. We got vintage Batman. So this is 1966 Batman, Adam West Batman style. We like that. So this one here is labeled Canada, so I assume this is based on the more local one. This one's in a PSA 8, which is a very clean copy again. This is the Bat Gas Mask because Batman had a lot of gimmicks in Adam West Batman time period. So here's this one. A lot of great art on this one. I'm familiar with the series, but this one's got a lot of great art on this one involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course, the Canadian version is much more rare than the U.S.
Mhm.
version. So to get these in PSA 8 or better condition, super rare.
Yeah.
I had planned to keep these for a while and display them in the showcase. But while I was getting ready to price them, a persistent customer came in, and after about 30 minutes of persuading, I ended up selling them to him. They are quite valuable just because there's just so few of them. So he had big plans, and we were able to work out a deal. If I kind of have an idea what they're worth, but we decided if he gets way more than what they're worth, we'll figure something out on the back end as well. But happy he could have. He's a young, I will call him a young entrepreneur in the business. So it's a good opportunity for him to, try to move these and get his name out there a little bit.
Sounds good. Now, one quick note again, you can have a lot of fun with the details. That's what I've mentioned before, and we talked about it today. Like I said, I'm a big fan of the Adam West Batman. It's very fun. If you ever get a chance to watch the program, the movie is hilarious because there's the meme of some days you can't get rid of a bomb. It's very fun.
Mm.
It doesn't take itself very seriously. I joke with a buddy of mine. It's like, no, as far as I'm concerned, the Adam West, as soon as Adam West Batman happened, that's the real Batman. I can't take Batman seriously. Don't be dark and brooding. No. You're the guy who can't get rid of a bomb. We know how it is. Now, one thing I was going to mention about this one, again, the art is excellent on these, but one thing that we're talking about here, so this is a gas mask, and everything has to have bat in front of it, for branding purposes. But one thing, if you know anything about gas masks, again, gas, you're dealing with that, it can get in your eyes too. So it's not really going to, it's kind of, Batman, is generally a pretty smart guy, but this kind of defeats the point if you don't have any protection for the eyes there, Batman. If it gets in your eyes, a gas, it's still not good.
Yeah. I was going to liken it to Darth Vader mask, but you're right. At least Darth Vader mask covered his eyes. So
anyway. I was saying, I don't think you thought this one through all the way.
Yeah.
So certain types of gas, if they get in your eyes, you still got a problem. You can be protecting your mouth, but you're not taking care of the rest of it.
I also believe too, as popular as Batman is, I think it was a very short-lived run when it was on TV, maybe a year or two. Obviously came out around 65, 66, sometime around there.
Yeah.
So I think there might have been 1 or 2 seasons of it.
They got a lot of episodes in though. They recorded a ton of episodes in because they were able to run in syndication for years. I think but if you ever watch that series, like it's ridiculous. You got King Tut, you got but you had some amazing actors though. Burgess Meredith was the Penguin.
Right.
Cesar Romero was the Joker, and the Joker with a mustache that you can see underneath the makeup. Like he wouldn't shave the mustache, so it looks a little weird if you look at him too closely. But he did he went for it. You have to give him credit. He went for it. And you had I think 2 or 3 different Catwomen.
Yeah.
So he had 2 or 3 different ones in that run. So it's but if you go look in the 1960s, kind of a who's who of actors and actresses, they had a lot of pretty good names there that actually did work on that show.
Yeah.
There you go. There's a little Adam West Batman minute, a little background on some of that.
Check it out.
We all got a chance to watch that show. So here's a Bobby Orr from 72 O-Pee-Chee. So again, back on the vintage vibe here. So in a PSA 8, which is pretty clean for 72.
Tough grades again. Yeah, they're not tough, but great grades on these cards. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. You got Bobby staring off vacantly off into the distance. So we've got that going for us. Back to the Batman track here. So this is following the clue. So with this one, we got Batman and Robin there. So again, following the art. Luckily, he doesn't have to worry about gas masking this time. They're just swinging.
Yeah.
Although I'm kind of curious about Robin's swinging technique. There are questions that I have, Steve.
Yeah.
Questions.
They look very athletic in this in this card. So, but again, PSA 9, super high grade, and it is nice. Like again, the artwork, and it's neat that they're both featured on the same card.
Yeah, that's what I like.
But yeah, Robin needs to hit the weights or something.
Yeah. Well, I'm also just talking about the fact that he's swinging kind of sideways. I'm like, where are you going? I'm trying to figure that out. And I also, like I said, again, you can have fun with the details, folks. So Robin is there doing his thing, and Batman is also swinging. So they're both, as Steve said, being very athletic. But he looks a little trepidatious. He looks a little concerned there, Batman. What's he swinging towards? There's questions that I have, Blair. I'm not sure about this one. Like, there's something going on over there.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was funny.
Yep. I'm not going to go.
And to finish it off, we'll go back into the modern. We got Paul Skeens here. So it's Topps Chrome Paul Skeens. It's got the rookie card logo on it. This one is an on-card auto in there. And Skeens is kind of your hot prospect now. And this looks like it's the purple number to 250.
Yep.
So you had a pretty good mix of items. You got a little bit of the old, a little bit of the new, a little bit of vintage Batman, a little bit of vintage hockey. Full gamut there. Some good stuff. So thank you, Steve, for sharing some images there. So we were able to cover a lot of ground. Okay, so let's get into the 24-25 Upper Deck artifacts. I'm just going to go quickly through a couple of things. We'll touch on a few things, and then we'll call it an episode here. And then again, we'll include a link to this in the description for you if you want to check out the checklist, because obviously the checklist is available. Do highly recommend it for all sets. Always highly recommend checking out the checklist. And if you're curious about availability and pricing, again, reach out to the contact points. They're available. So real quick, we'll go into here and we'll share a couple of cards. We'll show some of the mock-up images and such, and then we'll get into it. Okay. So here it is, 24-25 Artifacts Hockey. This is 1 year post Bedard, so you will have 2nd year Bedard and a bunch of other cards that you'll be chasing. So important thing, if you're familiar with Artifacts, we're still using a lot of the same formula. You're going to have a lot of parallels to a lot of these things, and it is going to be tiered depending on the different ones. So the first 100 cards are regular. They're considered to be common as far as rarity, and the remaining 100 cards are all serial numbered. So your stars, 101 to 135, are numbered to 699. Your goalies, 136 to 155, are numbered to 699. Legends, numbered to 599. That's 156 to 170. And then your rookies, or your high numbers, 171 to 200. They're all numbered to 999. The rest of them are unnumbered, cards 1 to 100. And then the next 200 cards are all serial numbered. Okay? So we've got a lot of parallels here. I'm going to read them real quick, but I'll go through them. And then don't forget, you also have blaster exclusives. So bear that in mind. And if you want to see the checklist, you can see it on the screen if you're watching the video version. But again, check out the link if you want to look at them a little more closely. So they've all got similar parallels. Neon green, foil board, gold foil board, plexi, ruby, emerald, copper, orange, yellow, pink, purple, spectrum jungle, seafoam green, black, and one of one masterful artifacts. So everything that I said from ruby on down are all numbered. From 499 all the way down to one of ones. This is a challenging set.
Yeah.
If you want to try to do the rainbow, that's extremely challenging. Like, that's a pretty strong checklist of parallels there. So best of luck to you if you decide to go that way. Generally speaking, some of them are pretty nice looking, but again, bear in mind there's a pretty good challenge there. And neon green is in blaster packs. So those are blaster exclusives. Foil board, gold foil board, and plexi are all hobby exclusive.
Right.
So just bear that in mind. So here's an example of a mock-up of Logan Stankoven there. Pretty solid looking design. Artifacts tends to follow a certain formula, but that looks pretty decent, I think, for the design on that one. So you do have base autographs and various combinations of number of memorabilia. And when we say various combinations, there's a lot of combinations. A lot of memorabilia versions of it. So here's your artifacts autograph here, just an example. It is going to be sticker auto based on that mock-up there. And the numbering is kind of on the side, so you can see that in the example there provided. So just bear that in mind. And you do have a lot of autograph and memorabilia there. So Autofax is one of them that comes back. So there's the design based on the mock-up. That is a pretty standard that they've used a lot of different times. They've also got a new one called Fresco Signatures. I've seen an image to it. It looks pretty decent, but it's just another additional autograph parallel, or insert, I should say. So we've got those ones. You've also got Sign of Success, Signature Apparel, Top Tier Rookie Signatures, Esteemed Endorsements, Story Script, and Admirable Impressions. Now, I don't have a mock-up of the Admirable Impressions, but I can tell you from previous years they maintained the similar design to it. Those are numbered to 24. They're very tough. If you have somebody on the checklist there, they're a great chase, but they're beautiful looking cards. I will say design-wise, very good looking. Here we got NHL Remnants, if you got some memorabilia that you want to include in there. You've got Stanley Cup Showdown jerseys. Silky Mitts is also one that looks pretty good. They've actually got a piece of glove included on that. Yep. Very good looking cards, I will say. Tundra Teammates duos, those are pretty standard from the past. Tundra Teammates quads, again, following similar. And then they start getting into a little bit of a more unusual. This one, I think, stands out a little bit. So they've got ticket stubs. So this one's kind of interesting. So here you've got ticket stubs from the team's debut seasons. So here's an example here from Charlie Summer, Cleveland Barons. So we're getting into a little more obscure here. This is kind of interesting. So so a piece of the ticket, but from the debut season of some of these teams. And the Cleveland Barons is the defunct franchise that got moved a couple of times. Cleveland Barons doesn't really exist, but here's a piece of a ticket.
Those are
I
neat.
like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
A little bit off the beaten path. I give them credit for that. I like that they tried something a little different, and it provides for a possibility like this. This is a little bit off the beaten path. Luckily, most of the tickets, so like a Cleveland Baron tickets, they're out there. So it's not like they're cutting up the only one in existence. But I like the fact that they went off the beaten path and tried something a little different. I think that's a great call. You've also got arena artifacts. So that commemorates the Spectrum Arena in Philadelphia. So you got a little memorabilia piece on there that comes from the arena. Kind of interesting.
Yep.
All right. So you got a Dave the Hammer Schultz there in the mock-up example with a little piece of the arena. Numbered to 67. Appropriate. Well done. So give him credit for that. And you've got a ton more. The checklist of inserts is ridiculous. I've given you just a taste, but you can see just from these listings, there's a lot. So you've also got acetate, clear-cut artifacts rookies, the clear-cut artifacts rookie updates. So again, we've got the updates included. A thing called Antiquity and Antiquity rookies. Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Aurum returns, which is kind of a checklist that includes a couple of different subsets in there. Multiple rookie tiers, a Legends tier, and a Legends All-Stars tier. So here's an example of one of the rookie tiers. Looks interesting, design-wise this year. So I like that they tried something with it. But that is a returning one. We've got rookie redemptions as well. So that's another thing that's on there. Again, time sensitive on these. So if you're opening up the product fairly new, you're going to be fine. But they're rookie redemptions. And then basically what it looks like is this. You've got your hobby and your blasters. That's what it tends to look like. 2 10-box inner cases for hobby, and blaster cases are 20 boxes. So your set size is 240 cards. So the 200 base cards plus 40 rookie redemptions. So there's a lot of rookie redemptions available. And what you should expect inside of a box from autographs, memorabilia, or premium inserts, 3 total per box. Rookie redemptions or acetate, 1 of those. And from serial number base cards or parallels, 4 in a box. That's what you should expect based on that combination. And you have 4 cards per pack in hobby and 8 packs per box. So there's going to be 32 cards in a hobby box, and then what you expect in that box will come off of that. So you've got the whole checklist on there, including the full checklist, rookie redemptions, and a whole list of updates. You can see there, clear-cut rookie checklist. These are all under the updates, esteemed endorsements, signature apparel. So you can see there a lot of different examples, a lot going on there. It is a pretty involved checklist, I'll say. I do highly recommend, if you're looking for certain specific things, check the checklist because there's a lot going on. And I just gave you a little taste of it.
Yeah.
And these are obviously priced very competitively now that we're, the post Bedard craze. Things have come back down to earth for us and for the customer. So these are much more affordable than, the last several products that had Bedard in it. But I'm not sure if Lane Hudson's in this series or not, but he's looking impressive out there. So if he is, he might be one to chase.
Yeah, I have to say, I'm just taking a look here. Let's see, under the rookies, what do we got? So we have, I think, total of 25 rookies. Othman, Wallstead, Brisson, Doan, Stankoven, Waugh, Cormier. I don't think I saw him on there. I can double check. But anyway, it's 171 to 200 is where you want to go on the checklist to find them. And again, they're all serial numbered to 999. I will say, if you are interested in some of the rookies, being numbered to 999 means they are going to be available. So they're reasonable. They're not the most short printed version of it, but you're still getting it. If you're trying to build a set, you're going to need those, and you're going to need some of the other ones that comprise the other subsets. So if you are a set builder, there is still a challenge there for you because, again, the last 100 cards are all serial numbered. I don't know if I would count the redemption cards as part of the base set, even though they kind of did. For me, it's kind of a separate thing. So I consider 1 to 200 if you want to do a set, but it's a challenge. There's plenty there for you to be challenged. And I'll say, but you are going to see a lot of parallels. So if it is something where you're looking for certain ones, if you like doing rainbows, hey, have at it. There's definitely a challenge there for you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would say pick and choose certain specific subsets and things that you like, and pick the one that you like the most, and maybe chase after that, and that'll keep it a little bit more manageable for you. Again, your mileage may vary, but that's my recommendation based on past artifact sets.
Silky Mitts. That's the one.
Yeah. I figured, Blair, you'd appreciate that one. And like I said, I've seen the design on that. It looks decent. I like the fact that they did it and the way they included it in there with they actually have a close-up image of the player's glove as part of it as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of the design. So I think it adds something to it. I think it's an interesting thing, and they're pretty short printed. Those ones are actually pretty tough to come by. Yeah. So they've definitely got some memorabilia for you. So if you're interested, they've definitely got a lot of variations to it. Perfect. So anything else then we want to make sure we touch on?
Nope. Just obviously the same old. Check out our eBay auctions. I think we still have like the buy it now listings, but with the postal strike and then with Christmas, the Christmas rush and that, I think we've slowed down our weekly listings until the new year, and hopefully the postal strike ends as well. But I'm still posting buy it now items, so yeah, continue to check out those listings.
Yeah, and still have a few items on sale. I don't want to call it leftover Black Friday now, but there's some other products that we still have some great prices on, and yeah, come check it out.
Perfect. Sounds good. And we will be back next week with a regular set of episodes. We will give you additional reminders on the dates and everything if you're unsure about anything that we talked about. If it's time sensitive, reach out directly to the store. That way you can get pricing, availability, all that stuff. If you see something you're interested in, ask directly. If you got just a general comment and it can wait, then by all means put it in the comments section and we'll respond to it in the subsequent episodes, so we can do that. But outside of that, again, use the direct line, especially as it gets in the holidays, it gets a little crazier. Reach out directly, because that way you're more likely to get a quicker response. That is the best way to make sure that if you really need to know something, that's the best way to make sure you get an answer that at least is helpful to you. So we've got that. Okay, so we'll call it an episode. We'll let these guys get the get the office ready, so to speak, and get ready to deal with some customers. So for Blair here, down there, Taylor Swifty, so he's getting over the end of the Eras tour. Be nice to him when you see him. Pat him on the back. It's been a tough time since the end of the tour, so it's tough. And we got Steve, Collect the Scalps, Collect the People, and the Alec Manoa in the background there. Right? It's a stunning visage. Really, the patron saint of AMG, truly, Alec Manoa is, for reasons that have been documented many times on this channel. So as always, we thank you for checking this one out. 60 episodes in, we appreciate it. We will be back with more ones. And at the time you're seeing this, we will have already had a live episode. And again, we'll let you know what the scheduling is as the holidays come into it. But nonetheless, we're enjoying bringing these out to you, and we'll bring more of them to you for the rest of the year and into the new year. So for all of us, thanks very much, and we'll catch you in the next one.